Hello, in this video we're looking at bricks, a logic puzzle that is similar in some ways to Sudoku, shares some similarities, but is quite unique in other ways. We're going to look at the rules of the puzzle and how you go about solving one, and to do that we're going to start with a very simple one-star grid. So this is what the grid looks like. This is a 6x6 grid, and the objective is to fill in the missing numbers. We've got some clue numbers already present, and we need to fill in the missing numbers in the empty cells. Each row and each column need to contain the numbers from 1 to the size of the grid. So this being a 6x6 grid, we need to put the numbers 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 and 6 into each row and each column without repeating them, of course. That's similar to Sudoku. What's different is that we don't have blocks, but we do have bricks, and each individual brick must contain one odd number and one even number. And the bricks wrap around. So for example, here on this second row, we got a half brick here and a half brick here. So they count as a single brick. If one contains an odd number, the other must contain an even number. Those are the rules. It's fairly straightforward, easy to understand, easy to learn, and it's pretty easy to get started with as well. So to start, well, the easiest way on this grid is this cell here, because it's a no-brainer, isn't it? We've got only one number missing, it's the 1, so we can write that in straight away. And we've got another no-brainer here. We're only missing one cell in this column, only missing one digit, and that is the number 5 by the look of it, so we'll write that one in. Those are the easiest wins. Next I'm going to look for columns and rows where there are few numbers missing. We've got a few instances where there are only 3 digits missing. So let's have a look at a column to make a change. We'll put this column on the end here. We've got a 3, 4, 5, so we're missing a 1, 2 and a 6. Well, if we take the 2, for example, the 2 cannot go in this cell because we've got a 2 here in the same row, and it cannot go in this cell because we've got a 2 here in this row. So in fact, the only place we can put a 2 is in this cell. So we'll draw that in, and then we know we're missing the 1 and the 6. Well, we don't have any clues to help us with that, so we'll come back to that, but we've got one of those numbers done. Let's move on to this column. This is another column that's only missing 3 digits. We got our 2, 3 and 4, so we're missing 1, 5 and 6. There's a few ways we can work out what goes where, but one of them is to look at this brick, because out of 1, 5 and 6, 6 is the only even number. This brick already has an odd number, so we know it has to take an even number. We know we need to put a 6 in here somewhere, so our 6 must go into this brick. So write that in. And that leaves us the 1 and the 5. Well, clearly the 5 can't go in here because we've got one right next to it in the same row. So that has to be our 1, leaving 5 to go in the only other remaining cell. Similar situation going on here as we move across. Only 3 numbers missing in this column. 3, 5 and 6 are missing. Well, we got the same thing going on one way. The 6 is the only even number in that lot, and as we've already got an odd number with a 1 in here, we know that our 6 must come down into this group. That leaves the 3 and the 5. In theory, either could go in there because we need an odd number, but we've already got a 3, so we can't put the 3 in there. It has to be the 5, leaving the 3 to go just above it. And that's another column completed. I'm going to look across the rows now because we've got some simple rows to fill in. Having filled in those columns, we've got only 2 missing numbers. In this row, we're missing a 2 and a 4. Well, this 4 tells us that that must be the 2, and the 4 can only go here. Here's another row with only 2 missing digits. We're missing the 1 and then the 6. This 6 tells us we can't have a 6 in here, so that must be the 1. And we'll put our 6 in here. We've now only got one number missing in this column, haven't we? We're only missing the 1, so we can draw that in at the top. Go back to looking at the rows because they're easy to fill in now. We're only missing 2 numbers in each case. Here we're missing the 2 and 5. Well, we've put a 2 down here, so we can't put it into this cell. So this must be the 5, leaving the 2 to go in here. Up on the next row, we're missing 1 and a 3. The 1 in here means we can't put it in here, so that's our 3. And now 1 must go over here. And in the final row at the top, we're missing a 5 and a 6. Well, this 6 and this 5 both tell us what goes where. And also, we can look at the numbers in the 2 bricks with 3 cells. We've got an even number with a 2, so it has to take an odd number, so that has to be the 5. and 6 to go in there. So that's it. The puzzle's complete. We've filled in all of our bricks and we've respected the one odd number and one even number rule per brick. And each row and each column contains the numbers from 1 to 6, once and only once. As you can see, on easy puzzle like this, you've got numerous ways of solving rows and columns, because we had instances where we could look at the crossing row and column and eliminate possible placements that way, but we could also use the odd even rule and work out what went where that way. As the puzzles get bigger, more complicated, and have fewer clue numbers present, then you'll find that only one method will work in each instance, and you may need longer chains of logic to solve the puzzle, and that's what makes it such great fun. So that's bricks, and I hope you enjoy them.
Hello, I'm Auntie. Don't forget you can get our Puzzle Weekly magazine delivered to you every Monday completely free. Visit the link to get your copy.